Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our Sports Ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Last night, Nebraska soccer won on the road and defeated Omaha 2-1. The Big Red moved to 3-2 on the season as Ella Rudney scored in the 12th minute and Reese Borer scored in the 32nd minute. Nebraska will be back in action at home Thursday night against Oregon State. In other Husker news, Caden Mickelson opened his Nebraska golf career with a school freshman record, 9 under over 54 holes. He tied for 12th individually and led the Huskers to a 6th-place team finish. Finally, there's one big college football game tonight as TCU takes on Bill Belichick and North Carolina at 7. You can watch that on ESPN. Our Sports Ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit stonebridgeiwm.com. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
10 on the play clock. Rhule sends a man in motion right to left. That's Shakori Barney. Rhule takes a snap, fade route, back right of the end zone. 50-50 ball! Was it caught? Touchdown, Huskers! Fade route, back right of the end zone. Going up high to make the catch, Isaiah Hunter for the Husker touchdown. Sorsby leans in, takes the snap, backpedals the throw. Blitz picked up. Ayers went out deep right sideline. 50-50 ball. It's picked off. The black shirts with the dagger. Malcolm Hartzog with a giant pick seals the night for the Big Red.
Served by Trinity Ward. Good pass, Harper on the side. Andy Jackson. Kaboom! She got it. We're going to the 5th. We're going to 5. Andy Jackson time. 25-23, the verdict set for.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
As we get set for a brand new season, a season that we honor the longtime voice of the Huskers, Greg Sharp. So buckle in, whether you're in York or Scottsbluff, from Ainsworth to Grand Island. This is Nebraska football.
You know, we've been preaching all offseason, really since the end of last season, one play at a time. Regardless of what happens, we just had to flush whatever, good or bad, and get to the next play and play that play. And I couldn't be more pumped for the rest of the season.
2 wide each way, 3 down linemen, 4 hover. Orbit motion from right to left. Waist high snap to Sorsby. Give it to the motion man. Allen makes the catch behind the line, left side, and he's gang tackled. Williams, Winery, Donovan Jones, and others there. Brings down Allen at the 39-yard line, and Cincy will punt. Snap back, hold is down, the right-footed boot. Endo Beren has plenty of leg. It is good. Right down center. Kyle Kunene with a big hit from deep. 51 away, ties the game at 3. Takes the snap, holds it out on a handoff. Johnson accelerates up the middle, grinds his way across the 35-yard line, dragging defenders to the 36 and a gain of 11.
Yeah, Emmett's a warrior. He battles. I thought he played really hard. Made great plays in the run game, made great plays in the passing game. I thought in the first half we really controlled the line of scrimmage. In the second half, they committed a few more guys to taking away the run, but I just really loved the way that Emmett played.
A handoff to Johnson over right tackle, powers his way inside the 20 off the I formation, just moves the pile inside the 15 down to the 13-yard line. Left hash snap to Sorsby, drifts back to throw, dumps it to an underneath crosser. Goody made the catch, got popped, ball's loose, but they say incomplete. 10 on the play clock. Rhule sends a man in motion right to left. That's Shakori Barney. Rhule takes a snap, fade route, back right of the end zone. 50-50 ball! Was it caught? Touchdown, Huskers! Fade route, back right of the end zone. Going up high to make the catch, Isaiah Hunter for the Husker touchdown.
We all believe in each other, and we were just saying, at halftime, just play together, because individually they could beat us, but together we can't be beat.
Rhule takes a snap, play fake, zings one back up to the end zone, and that is caught for the touchdown. Back line of the end zone, he fired it over the middle, and Nebraska has 6.
I just seen the ball go up in there, Coach JB put us in the right call, and I did my assignment. You know, when you do your job, things just fall in your hands. So I seen the ball go. I just had to go make that play and close it out for my brothers.
Sorsby leans in, takes the snap, backpedals the throw, blitz picked up. Ayers went out deep right sideline, 50-50 ball, it's picked off! The black shirts with the dagger, Malcolm Hartzog with a giant pick, sails the night for the Big Red. Victory formation, the best words in football. At the 20, Raiola takes a snap, takes a knee, and it's a Big Red victory on night one of the 2025 season.
Yeah, this is going to be 12 opportunities to go out and compete. It's going to be a battle. Nothing's going to be easy. We're not going to be overlooked by anybody. We'll have to play our best. We'll have to play our best in the fourth quarter. And, we talk a lot about the winning moments, and I think we made the winning play in the winning moment when we had to. We'd love to make a few more of them, but, it was probably the type of game we needed. So, yeah, I think we'll just try to move forward next week and try to just be a little bit better.
The sounds of a victory montage. Those things never get old. Welcome in. Happy Labor Day. Happy Victory Monday. Everybody, welcome into the show. Full 2 hours coming up for you here. Jessica Coody here with Kyle Crooks. Well, we finally got a game to talk about, but your first one in the booth. How do you feel today?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It was exhilarating. Just like a coach does, right? You go back, and in our case, you listen to the tape, you go through the tape, and you listen to all the calls and all that stuff. You make your mental notes, but it's always good to learn in a Husker victory. And how many times have Husker fans? I wasn't here for them, obviously, but one-score games over the last couple of years, and how disappointing and how heartbreaking that Nebraska's been on the wrong end of some of these games, and then finally here they are. Against a Power 4 opponent, you have a chance to close out a game. Now, the way the flow of that game was going, it was a 10-point game at halftime, right? You got the sense like Nebraska's going to run away with this thing. You get the takeaway, you go up 10, but you never have the chance to separate. And credit to Brendan Sorsby, credit to Cincinnati for the talent they have on their side to stick around. And at least we're talking about a Nebraska win in a one-score game. How about that?
1,000,000%. And first win over a Power 4 conference in the season opener since 2003. So good test out of the gate. Lots to work on, lots to improve on, but lots of positives. And 1-0 to start the season. So 402-413-2400 is that number. Phone line's open for you here tonight. Also, the text line as well. So we want to hear from you. Be a part of the show tonight. We're going to hear from Coach Rhule. He met with the media with his Monday. We're back to regular scheduling game schedule, I guess, week schedule today with the Thursday kick. Last week it was all off, but so we're back to the regular scheduled programming. And so Coach Rhule had his TV show today, then met with the media with his press conference. Tomorrow we'll hear from coordinators and players. So we'll have that for you, but we'll hear from Coach Rhule here coming up in just a few minutes. Hour number 2, going to bring you a portion of the conversation I was able to have with linebacker Javin Wright. So a part of our Cornhusker conversation. So we'll bring that to you. And we've got another football game on tonight. It has been like nonstop since Thursday night.
Yeah, I was watching last night Notre Dame and Miami. We'll get to our picks and sort of how we did, and I think I did.
Not tonight. Let's not. Not until hopefully I get a win tonight, and it'll improve my record.
There's some differences between those who picked North Carolina and TCU. I thought for a moment maybe I'd pick TCU, but you told me no. I went with Bill Belichick.
No, because you were all in on Bill Belichick.
Yeah, for some reason I went all in on Bill Belichick, and I'm sort of regretting that decision. I don't know, but we'll see how it plays out tonight. But there was a lot of just really good matchups opening weekend, and the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of the way people have scheduled. You see a lot of those bye games, as we like to call them, and we'll see that this weekend at Memorial Stadium before their schedule really picks up. But, you had the Texas-Ohio State game that probably didn't live up to necessarily to the excitement. It was a great atmosphere, but it was a defensive struggle, and obviously, Arch Manning really, really struggled in that game, and he had 2 young quarterbacks, so maybe it's sort of what we should have expected, but there was a lot of great football. I think LSU-Clemson was a really, really good game. You just hope that you see more of those types of matchups early in the non-conference.
So this TCU North Carolina game, kicking off at 7 o'clock. So we've got the big TV going over here. If
Big
you're wondering
TV.
why we're looking over, it's because the big TV is on. We got the game on. So we'll have a game to watch here in the second hour. But, okay, so let's go back. Also going to talk some volleyball. I forgot about that. Huge win yesterday for the Huskers. Wow. So lots to get to here over the next couple of hours. But, you kind of ran through it a little bit. But I guess what were some of your biggest takeaways when you went back? You have your initial thoughts after the game, but after you dove into it and started kind of reevaluating how the team looked, what were some of the big takeaways, both positive and negative?
You know what's funny is when I was talking with Ben and Damon, we did our post-game hit, there's so much of the game that I didn't remember in that moment because I was so – obviously it was a big night and it was a long day, and there was so much that I had forgotten about the game that I had to go back and – just watch it and listen to it. I'll say this, the interview that you had post-game with Emmett Johnson, and he's a dog, man. He's a gamer, 25 carries. That doesn't even factor in he had 10 targets, 7 catches. He was just all over the place. And credit to Emmett Johnson. I think I was probably a little surprised going in that every series it seemed like there was a left tackle rotation, and Coach Rhule, we'll get into that later, but doesn't seem like that's going to be something that's going to continue to be a trend as we go, but I think they're just trying to find their footing at that position. And Dylan, with everything that was around this game, right? First game of the year, Pat Mahomes is in the house, Taylor Swift is in the house, and the fact that he made the smart play, right? He threw the ball 42 times, never turned it over. That was a big knock on him last year. It was a true freshman season, but he threw 11 interceptions last year. The fact that he didn't make that back-breaking wrong throw or wrong decision. Cincinnati wasn't letting Nebraska make that big splash play, that explosive play downfield. They were playing 2-3 high safeties. They weren't going to let Isaiah Hunter, Dane Key, Ja'Cory Barney get deep on. So they made the smart play. I think defensively, this team looked really good in the secondary. I don't know if you saw this, but Nebraska had the best pass defense grade from Pro Football Focus in about 11 years. They did not let Sorsby go down the field at all.
Yeah.
They had like 80 total yards offense in the first half.
Yeah, I think that I don't know if I'm surprised by that at all, though, with what we knew that was coming back with the secondary, and then with the defensive line a little bit younger, a little bit more inexperienced. Some guys stepping into some roles, and Coach Rhule actually brought that up, just the adjustments that Cincinnati made because they were locking down. They were not able to do anything in the air, so they had to go to Sorsby's feet. But, you can just tell on the sideline the way that John Butler interacts with those defensive backs. He's relying a lot on them to kind of direct the traffic, and when things are not going right, whether it's their fault or not, he's talking it over with them. And so you just got some veteran guys back there that know this defense, know Coach Butler, know what it's like to be in the fire. And so, yeah, I agree. They were really good. But I don't know if we were surprised by that, being that we kind of knew that was going to be one of the strong suits for this team going in.
No, I mean, Deshaun Singleton, to me, popped out right away. Donovan Jones looked really good. Sierra Wright didn't have a single target in his direction, so he had incredible coverage all night. Andrew Marshall had a really good debut. Marquise Buford was all over the field. I think that the one concern that you would have and the coaches have is the fact that you gave up the number of rushing yards that you did. So Sorsby had 96 of them. He gave up 202 on the ground. Now, a lot of that is different in the sense that it was a QB who was scrambling, finding ways to get yardage, where necessarily in the Big Ten you're not going to face a lot of those traditional running quarterbacks. So it was a unique matchup in that regard. You need to find ways to make more plays behind the line of scrimmage. Tackles for loss were not there. Sacks were not there. I think Williams-Winery played well for his first game in a Husker uniform going back to around his hometown. But I think that front seven was the biggest area that I think you want to see more of. They'll come out and they'll play, and you'll see a lot of them pop over the next 2 weeks. And it's just the matchup thing, right? Akron and Houston Christian, Nebraska overmatches those teams. But how much confidence do you have in that front seven once Michigan rolls into town? I think we won't necessarily find out until you play the Wolverines.
I think that's a group that's going to grow and learn every single week. I mean, just watching, again, the interactions on the sidelines, there's a lot of teaching moments that I think even just reading what to do when certain things are happening on the fly, knowing and trusting your instincts. And so that was a lot of the conversations with some of those guys on the front seven. I wanted to go back to Emmett Johnson and the load that he carried. And, this is something that Jeremiah Searles, I feel like, has said over and over again, just getting a guy going when he's, whatever the situation might be, maybe he has the hot hand, but rolling with that guy. And I think Emmett has prepared himself to be that guy if the situation is needed. Now, I do think, again, these younger running backs, once they get a sense and a feel for it, that the game will continue to come to them too. But I don't think it's a bad thing that Emmett Johnson can be your bell cow when it's needed.
Yeah, I think he's going to be. It's clear cut that he's going to see just about all the touches. But and Coach Rhule knows this, Dana Holgorsen knows this. You cannot survive an entire season with the amount of touches that Emmett Johnson had because you can't stay healthy through that. Emmett's built his body in a way where he's now meant to be the bell cow. He's put on a lot of muscle and can absorb more of the wear and tear of being that guy. But eventually, Mekhi Nelson, Isaiah Mosey, and I think Quentin Ives will become more into the conversation as we go because, of course, he missed a lot of fall camp. He missed a lot of reps. So eventually Quentin Ives is that more physical, strong back will play a role. It was Dana's decision, according to Coach Rhule, that, look, we're going to ride Emmett. We could have seen a lot more of Mekhi Nelson and Isaiah Mosey, but according to Dana Holgorsen, the game didn't necessarily call for it or it wasn't what he was looking for. I think that's going to change drastically over the next 2 games. You're going to see a lot of those guys and perhaps Emmett take a little bit of a backseat to get that rest before Michigan. But it shows that Emmett can be that number 1 running back. Whatever you need him to do, he's going to do to win a game.
One other big notable for me, and I've said this a couple different times, but just the demeanor on the sideline when some of the things were not going right. This is my 4th season on the sideline, 5th year here. And this is a team that has lost, as you mentioned, quite a few one-score games. And when there have been times in the past, not necessarily calling out any coaching staff before this, but just there's been some times that you've seen some frustrations. You've seen the body language not be what it needs to be when things aren't going right. But I was really impressed with what I saw from the sideline. With no matter when they gave up the touchdown to cut it to 3 late, you didn't see any kind of wavering. I was just impressed with the guys, how they stayed locked in, and there was it's almost a poker face situation. You couldn't tell what was going on, and I think that's a huge, big growth area for this team because it hasn't always been that. Now, again, it was game 1, so it's got to continue to be that. But there have been times in the past where when things were not going their way, you could definitely tell when you were observing on the sideline, but I didn't see that at all on Thursday.
Well, it just shows the great leadership on this team. And there's a microcosm of that grander picture that you talk about when Malcolm Hartzog, the play before, gets called for a defensive holding. All of a sudden, you're talking about, okay, they're in field goal range to tie this thing, send it to overtime. Now you're saying, oh, geez, there could be a possibility that they could find pay dirt here, and this could be one of those just real gut-wrenching losses. Just think of it, 70,000 fans. I don't even want to put this in people's heads, but 70,000 fans, 99% of that are Nebraska fans. You're celebrating the start of a new season. For the most part, Nebraska dominated a lot of different areas of the game, including time of possession, total yardage, all the things that you would want, but they didn't dominate the scoreboard, and Nebraska, once again, is sitting in these one-score situations, but Malcolm Hartzog has that defensive holding call and then comes back the next play to have that interception and clinch the victory for Nebraska. So that was sort of a microcosm of things were not going to go your way at certain moments, but how do you have that next play mentality? And we saw it for Hartzog, who's one of the more quiet personalities on the team, but for him to come up big in that spot, perhaps, I know it's not the 14-point win that this fan base was looking for, the blowout win on opening night, because clearly Nebraska was the better roster. But it was, okay, let's turn the trend of those one-score losses. They were, 3-8 in one-score games or whatever. I think that was the number. And to get that victory, that's turning a corner in a small way.
Dry said on the chat, we've struggled for several years against the quarterback run. Need to improve. I think everybody struggles against a guy like Sorsby. It's hard to defend. It is just hard to defend. A lot of teams struggle with those kinds of quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's really hard to just gauge in terms of make sure you're staying in your lanes, gap integrity, and Brennan Sorsby is a really good football player. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of NFL scouts that were there that were looking at him specifically, and the tight end Joe Royer. This defense did a good job on their tight end. That's a potentially first round NFL draft pick. I think the offensive line, Justin Evans, Henry Lutowski, despite him getting that early personal foul, Rocco Spindler. I think you want a little bit more push from those guys. We didn't see perhaps the yard per carry that you were looking for, but they did a really good job on Dante Corleone, who's going to be a high-level NFL defensive lineman one day. So there's NFL talent on that team. Coach Rhule said this earlier today. Everybody has, in a Power 4 world, you have the $20.5 million to spend to keep talent. Every team in Power 4 has talent. So when you go Power 4 on Power 4, there's a lot of guys that were able to stay at a Cincinnati because they were able to pay them. So there's a lot of good players on that side too. It's a lot better when you can talk about the negatives coming out 1-0 as opposed to 0-1.
All right, we got to get to a break. Coming up next, we're going to hear some clips from Coach Rhule's press conference today as he met with the media following the win number one. 402-413-2400 is that number if you want to call in to the show tonight or text in, be a part of the show. We're taking your calls and texts here tonight. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's the Ford Labor Day Sell-a-thon. Right now, get 0% financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles. Don't miss out. Head to your Midwest Ford dealers during the Labor Day Sell-a-thon. Get 0% financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles, plus get a complimentary 2-year maintenance plan. Hurry in. These value-driven offers end September 2nd. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers. Driven by value.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Shelter agent Travis Hawk in Scottsbluff, Jim Mowinkle in Gretna, or Shane Bernhardt in Norfolk.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
At Woodhouse, we're with you every step of the way. With more than 20 locations and brands, you'll find options that fit your lifestyle. Whether you're looking for your first car, your next SUV, or something built to tow and haul, enjoy straightforward pricing, helpful guidance, and a dealer experience built around you. Visit one of our convenient locations today or explore your options online at woodhouse.com. Serving our customers for 50 years, this is Woodhouse.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly on this Victory Monday. 402-413-2400 is the number if you want to call or text in. Patty in Omaha has a text for you, Kyle. She says, I wish I could have heard Kyle call the game, but I was at the game, and I doubt I could hear you in the stadium. We're glad was glad to hear you at the start of the show, GBR. So, Patty, if you want to, you can go back. It's on replay on our Huskers app and Huskers.com. You can listen to the full broadcast.
You can find it somewhere.
Cassidy, our web manager, would appreciate that plug, so I had to get that in there. Also wanted to read this one for you, too, because this came in during Big Red Reaction from Adam Hall in Lincoln. He said, I thought Kyle C. did a great job on his call of the game. It's going to be fun to listen to him this season.
That's very nice. I appreciate everybody who reached out through social media, through my email. I'm grateful for everybody who listened.
Not a single negative comment, right?
No, they're out there. Positive, negative, constructive criticism. Like there were fans who were quite literally taking notes and like gave me legit things that I'm like, I never thought about that, and you go back and you listen to it, and like things that are real aren't just like, oh, you stink, this, that, and the other. So I appreciate everybody out there. It's nice.
All right, keep those texts rolling in, and let's hear from Coach Rhule now. Again, he met with the media today, his weekly press conference, and unfortunately, and this was another one of those storylines on Thursday night, was Janiron Bonner. He went down, had a little bit of a tackle that was not great. I know Coach Rhule was not upset by the tackle, was having a discussion with the officiating. Janiron immediately came off in a lot of pain, went to the medical tent, came out, and you could just see, I did a report on this, but very emotional, and just the way that every single player on that team went up to him. They had a prayer circle around him. It was Janiron was hurting, but so were his brothers because he means so much to this team. But so Coach Rhule announcing today that it is a season-ending injury, ACL tear, out for the year. I guess the good news on that is it's a medical red shirt. He's going to be able to get this year back. So it doesn't affect, since he only played in the one game, he'll be able to have this year back. But Coach Rhule was asked what that loss of Bonner means on the field.
It's a tremendous loss on the field. He's a great football player. He plays on all special teams. He's a wideout. He's a running back. He's a fullback. He's a tight end. He can just do it all. Selfless. He's a great teammate. I'm sure he'll continue to inspire his teammates, though, with his attitude. And I just know how much he means to everybody. So he doesn't mean a lot to us because he's a good player, though he means a lot to us because of who he is. And so everyone will rally around him, and we'll watch him come back better than ever.
Yeah, it's just extra tough because of what it's tough when anybody goes down, but his stature on this team, he's a single-digit guy. He's somebody who is, he's a leader by his actions. He does so many different things well in terms of a blocker, pass catcher, somebody who can run in the jet sweep game. He's just a versatile Swiss Army knife now that you don't have as part of your team. You heard it with Coach Rhule that on the field he means a lot, but off the field in the way that he goes about his business as a silent leader, it was really tough to see. And there was a couple of those low hits that I know DB during the broadcast had brought up from Cincinnati that were just one of those you don't do, especially when your back is to the defender and they can't brace for it.
as an offensive player, you almost would rather deal with the repercussions of a high hit near the head and neck area as opposed to one of those hits that'll take you out for an entire season with a knee or an ankle or something like that. So really, really sad to see that happen, but it's a brutal game.
All right, up next, Coach Rhule was asked about the importance of getting another running back going. We talked earlier about Emmett Johnson and the heavy load that he carried, over 100 yards, 25 carries, over 4 yards a carry, but it was a heavy dose of EJ. So Coach Rhule was asked about getting somebody else going behind Emmett Johnson.
I wasn't happy with it. Dana was like, hey, he made the call, so I let my coordinators coach. I wanted to get Isaiah and Mackay in, but once Dana said to me, hey, Coach, I made that call, I said, okay, cool. Like Emmett was hot. We went with Emmett. We'll have to get Isaiah. We'll have to get Mackay, and we'll have to get Quentin in the game more. Mackay had a great run that he cut back and got vertical, and unfortunately we missed one block, or else it might have gone for a ways. So I'm just biding my time with those guys. But I wanted to play them more. But Dana was feeling it. He went with what he went with, and that's his call. So I was good with it once he said that. So, but that won't be the plan moving forward. I don't think. I think we'll have to play more guys.
I'm sure Emmett Johnson, if you ask him, he would say, I'm happy with that being the plan moving forward, just get the ball every single play. But I really think these next 2 weeks, when you look at the young running backs in Mackay and Isaiah, these next 2 games, you're going to see them. They're sort of my pick to click. You can pick either one of them in terms of how they're going to stand out and how many snaps that they're going to see. I think you'll see the potential of those 2 guys. Granted, the competition over the next 2 games is what it is, but if you're a fan and you want to see Mackay Nelson and Isaiah Mosey and perhaps see the potential of what those 2 guys might be, I'd say stay tuned over the next 2 weeks. And either one of those guys can then sort of make that case for who's the number 2 running back once you head into Michigan. Roles will start to get solidified by how those guys play here at home over the next 2.
And you and I were texting after the game, the fact that they had a rotation of 3 guys at left tackle, that's a challenge for a line, for an offense. And so, saw all 3 guys, Gunnar Gatula, Elijah Pritchett, and Turner Corcoran, as they're trying to figure out who's going to lock down that left side. And they want to get it figured out. And Coach Rhule was asked about that on the rotation there at offensive tackle.
Yeah, we're not going to be a 3-man rotation real long, but I think everybody had some good plays. Everybody had some plays you like back. Sort of some of the things I talked to you guys about last week. Held true, right? So we false started at the 1-foot line, but there were also a lot of good plays too. So we just felt like everyone deserved a chance to play, and we wanted to put it on tape. I think sometimes you have to see your team versus other teams to see exactly what you're doing well and not doing well. The old, I don't know if Coach Osborne or Coach Solich said it, but Coach Paterno used to say to us all the time, you make your biggest improvement between week 1 and week 2. So part of that's also kind of refining that and seeing where those guys fit. And, right tackle, we played just Teddy. We didn't play Tyler. So we'll go through this week. I think the good thing is I think everyone knows that we'll rotate. So they all have to have a chance to compete and practice. And as a player, that's all you can really want is a chance to compete. So we graded the tape, and we'll just kind of look at it this week too.
It's not ideal, and it's something that you won't see, I would assume, in Big Ten play, barring any injury. But you're not going to see 3 left tackles in a game. You might see it this week, you might see it next week, but I would assume that Michigan, you're going to have a guy, you're going to stick with whoever that left tackle is, and if you need to make a change, you're going to make a change. I think we might see maybe in these next 2 games more Tyler Canuck. You didn't see any of him at right tackle. Do you see him maybe get a look with Teddy at right tackle? Those 3, again, those core 3s, I like to call them, at left guard, center, and right guard, seem to be solidified. But if you look at those 3 left tackles, Pro Football Focus, we mentioned the ratings before, but the highest rated out of those 3 was Elijah Pritchett, who seemed to fall out of favor a little bit towards the end of fall camp, and he was that 3rd guy on the left tackle depth chart. So the one thing that stands out, of course, is the mistake that Elijah made down at the goal line, at the half-yard line, takes the false start, and eventually it takes essentially a 4-point swing. You're not getting 6, you're getting 3, so you can't have those mistakes. But in terms of performance, Elijah's the one who graded out the best.
I'm also fascinated. We've talked about this too, that once they figure out who that guy is going to be that they're going to go with, will they move one of those guys over to right to play some behind Teddy?
Yeah.
Could that happen once they figure that out?
I think you could see Gunnar Gatula easily play a lot of right tackle, or we've said it a bunch, Elijah Pritchett, that's the position that he's played most at Alabama. So it would make a lot of sense that if Elijah's playing well and perhaps he's more comfortable on that right side, you could see that for sure.
All right. How about the defense? Coach Rhule was asked if the defense played the way that he hoped that they would in game number 1.
I think they played hard. I think the way John said it really well. I think they played hard. I think we have to play faster. And this part, part of that's key. Now, I say this. I thought we covered really well. I mean, in modern college football, to play a Power 4 team and hold them to 69 yards passing, I don't know how often that happens. So, I don't really know what the narratives are out there. Like, I know that's really hard to do. And I think, like your Sierra, you get no targets, but he's sticky. Like you look at last year and you look at this year, we're way stickier. And I thought 4 was a heck of a player for them. I thought he was a really, we knew he was a good player from La Tech, or I forget which one. I get confused, but we knew from previously he was going to be a good player. He's fast, he's athletic. And so, I thought he was a really good player watching him out there, and I thought Andrew Marshall played really well. I thought Donovan Jones played really well. I thought Keese played really well. We covered well. Guthrie got in the game. He played well. Early in the game, I felt like we weren't running good angles, which is disappointing because that's all we talk about. And that comes down to trust. It just comes down to trusting yourself, but trusting your teammates. And sometimes you have to go out and play a game or two and see it and then be like, oh, geez, I have to fix this. So early on, I saw a lot of guys just trying, kind of breaking down a little too early. So we emphasized that again yesterday. They got better as the game went on. We were so dominant in terms of the time of possession that sometimes almost on defense, you'd like to get into a little bit of a rhythm. It's like we went 3 and out, and then they knocked the ball out. We scored, and then we had the ball in the second half. They went a long time without playing. I would have liked to have seen us play a little faster, but I think the biggest thing is just playing fast. Sometimes tempo has a chance to do that to you. John's getting the call in. Guys are panicked because they feel the tempo. They're not really getting the call fast enough, making all the checks that you have to make. And so just settling them down, I think, was one of the things that showed up on Saturday. But I think like I said, I think the positives are, a year coming in saying, hey, we want to stop explosive passes. We gave up one explosive, which was on a quarterback scramble. We took the ball away twice. I think we were really good on third down. Just, some quarterback runs we have to improve upon.
I think we said coming in that the defense was going to be the strength of this team like it has been the first 2 years under Matt Rhule. I remember talking to Coach Rhule at Big Ten Media Days, and he said, my defense is we're going to have a good defense. The defenses that I've had in college, we've never had a bad defense. We're going to have a good defense. And you see with the veteran leadership in the back end, I think it's, again, going to be a strength of this team. And then you're seeing a little bit of the ceiling of the offense, Dylan not turning the ball over. That adds to it. Can they raise their level of play and sort of meet where the defense has played over the last handful of years? But I think the ceiling of this team, if they could stay status quo to what they've done the last couple of years, especially last year as a top 20 defense, with the talent on this team, especially in the back end and the experience, if the front seven can take a step forward, it has the makings of the possibility of being a top 20 team with you would hope, a much better offense.
Agree. All right, got to get to a break, but more from Coach Rhule coming up and a couple texts rolling in. We'll get to that coming up on the other side of this.
Set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
No matter what you're looking for, you'll find it at Woodhouse. We carry a wide selection of trusted brands across more than 20 locations, offering everything from efficient daily drivers to bold new EVs and family-ready SUVs. At Woodhouse, we put your experience first, offering expert guidance and a trusted team that's guaranteed to help you find the right vehicle. Visit a location near you or start shopping online at woodhouse.com. More ways to drive, more reasons to trust. This is Woodhouse.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
See Shelter Agents Pete Voles or Brent Ruggo in North Platte, or in Broken Bow, see Agent Brent Custer.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
It's the Ford Labor Day Sell-a-thon. Right now, get 0% financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles. Don't miss out. Head to your Midwest Ford dealers during the Labor Day Sell-a-thon. Get 0% financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles, plus get a complimentary 2-year maintenance plan. Hurry in. These value-driven offers end September 2nd. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly. Kyle Crooks, Jessica Coody here on this Monday evening. Rainy, kind of chilly day.
I don't like it. Well, I like the chilliness of it. So I saw the 10-day, I guess is what they call it, the weather. It looks like Saturday is going to be like a nice, crisp fall night. You're going to need to bring the jacket. You'll be down on the sidelines. So you're going to have to layer up.
Layer? I don't know if I need to layer.
You're going to have to layer up.
Listen, I'm not as soft as you coming from Florida. You gotta toughen up a little bit.
I will be wearing a jacket. I will be wearing a jacket.
But no, it's kind of crazy because it's usually like way hotter than this for the first few games.
I'm all for it. I think it almost means, though, that the winter here is going to be a little tough. If we're already hitting like low of 51.
Hopefully that means it's milder.
You think so?
I don't know.
I don't know how weather patterns work.
What does the Farmer's Almanac say, Camden? But
he hasn't looked at it.
So I don't know. We'll see.
I love it, though. It's football weather. I want that 365, 75, high of 75, and a low of like 51. Let me see my breath as I call the game.
It was pretty warm until the shade, somewhat behind the stadium on Thursday night, and it was a pretty nice night down there.
It was pretty toasty when we got to the stadium on Thursday, but it must have felt nice down on the field.
Yeah, it was toasty while we were walking in from the parking lot, and Damon was mad.
I need more of those stories. By the way, we were rolling in on the early bus about 6 hours before kick, and Nebraska fans were tailgating in the line to get into the parking lot because there was still a couple hours before they could get into the actual parking lots, and they had the tailgate tents set up in the line to get into the parking lot.
Oh, yeah. It was wild. They had to open the gates early, but so I was given a parking pass. I'm going to go ahead and defend myself here because I know he's told the story on his show. So
Damon tells a lot of stories.
I'm going to tell my version of it. He made it sound like we didn't have an option. We had gates 3 through 6, which were all general admission, which all had people backed up for a long ways. We didn't know that. Cassidy, Rockstar, pulls in and actually just kind of went around a bunch of people. So we got a little bit closer, but we were still going to be stuck in line no matter what. No matter which gate we went to, we were going to be stuck in line. So we can't wait. So we decided just to get out and walk. And of course, you know, he was letting me know about it.
He didn't like the walk.
He's letting me know about it, but we got there on time.
You know what's funny is as we were walking out, I don't think you were there for this, but I think it was me, Damon, and Ben. We were walking in the area right in front of the press area. It's like where, I guess, the famous where Taylor Swift would walk out and everybody would go nuts is where like the fans and near the locker room. And when Damon turned the corner, all those Nebraska fans in that bar were just going nuts when they saw Damon. And it was like, this is the Taylor Swift reaction that we've seen on social media when she's at Arrowhead.
Great. Just keep adding to his ego, people.
He is a big deal.
No, he is. It's the same thing when we were walking in when we had to walk through all the tailgates to get into the stadium.
When you win championships, that does something.
Yeah. No, it was awesome to see so many Husker fans. So Andy in Phoenix said, had Husker radio on the entire game. Always fun keeping Hulu before the broadcast. What does it say? My contacts are blurry today.
Uh-oh.
You all did great. Game 2 loading. See you all this week. Andy will be here in the stadium this week. But so we need to do that because I had a couple people reach out to me too. I think we need to do a tutorial on how to sync the app with the TV. It's doable for both.
It can happen.
You just hit pause and then you let whichever one's ahead you can hit pause on and let catch up.
Just start it up. Once start it up at a snap or whatever, but you just might have to pause the TV until it matches up on the radio and then hit play as soon as that next snap starts, and you could do it.
Yeah, I do it with volleyball all the time. So I am one that has learned to do it, and I sync up John Baylor and Lauren with the TV all the time.
I think it's a good idea, though, because we're big on the social media machines out there, Twitter and Instagram, so maybe we need to make a nice little video put out there.
If that would help people, we'll do whatever we need to do to help you out. We're also trying to figure out a way to have it in stadium as well. I know we had a couple requests for that, but the syncing the app or the website to the TV, I think is fairly simple if you have a pausable TV and the app. The app does pause, so whichever one is ahead, you should be able to pause and then let the other one catch up.
But I'll say this: I appreciate that people want to do that because it means people want to listen to it.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate you asking those questions because it means that you're actually interested in what we're doing.
Yes, and we'll help you however we can. So we love to hear it. So, all right, got to get to a break. We're back to wrap up hour number 1 next.
It's the Ford Labor Day Sell-a-thon. Right now, get 0% financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles. Don't miss out. Head to your Midwest Ford dealers during the Labor Day Sell-a-thon. Get 0% financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles, plus get a complimentary 2-year maintenance plan. Hurry in. These value-driven offers end September 2nd. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers. Driven by value.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Welcome back. Final segment here of hour number 1 of Sports Nightly on this Monday evening. Art in Los Angeles checking in. Kyle Crooks is my new favorite announcer. He's, again, has everybody as his favorite announcer, but that's okay.
Again,
you've made it.
Just let Art have his opinion. You don't need to throw the caveat.
To me, I think that signifies you've made it if you've joined the rest of us.
I know.
All I can say is, wow, Greg would be so proud, GBR. I agree.
That was the one that I did see that comment on social media, and that one meant a lot. That one gave me chills. I think I said this on the air. I got a nice long text from Amy Sharp before going to Arrowhead Stadium and calling the first game. And she was great to me when I first got here, and we met in person, and she's stayed in touch ever since and gave me a nice long text. And I can't say how much, because I know how tough that was for the family the other night to listen to the game and not have Greg there, and for a lot of people. So I appreciate that.
So you had announced this, and I know we posted it on social media, but remind the folks about the scholarship, and hopefully we'll be able to pass along more information too, and maybe even have a guest on here to talk about it. But a cool deal that they're starting this year. Yeah, so it's a scholarship that is in Greg's name, Sports Broadcasting Scholarship. We tweeted out the link. I believe it is on our Huskers Radio Network Twitter account. And you can go and there's a link that you can help out financially towards the scholarship. And I think there's a scholarship both, not just here, but at Kansas State as well. So maybe we could tweet out that link again. But there's a link you can go to. You can donate to the scholarship, but it's a scholarship that is centered around sports broadcasting in Greg's name, and just really cool. His legacy is going to remain for a long time for a lot of reasons, but he was somebody who helped out, was a mentor to a lot of people, and I know that scholarship's going to be a lot of help. Very cool. I can't believe we made it almost this entire hour and didn't even mention, the stars that were there. Pat Mahomes, Taylor Swift, the Kelsey brothers. I will say, I told you guys this in the pregame show that Patrick Mahomes came right over to the Husker sideline, so he was supporting Nebraska. He's friends with Dylan. He chatted with Dylan's parents for a while, and Terry Braden as well. They had a long chat over there on the sideline, but for the record, I think Pat Mahomes was going for Nebraska. And against his best buddy. You took a picture of it as we were setting up. Andy Reid was there and talked to the entire team, shook everybody's hand as they were walking out onto the field. So, of course, there were a lot of connections to the Chiefs specifically, especially with Terry Braden. He was just on that staff with Andy Reid, and he was there talking to Mahomes, and Travis Kelce, of course, was rooting on the Cincinnati side, and I think he has to wear I don't know what the bet is with the Bussin' with the Boys guy. He has got to wear something Nebraska. But the fact Taylor Swift was there was a huge deal, and I'm sure that shot the TV ratings up a bunch too. Yeah, I think did they show her as much as they show her on NFL? I got a lot of people reaching out to me that said they talked about her and showed her a bunch. Wow. Well, I guess not surprising. But we had heard that she wasn't going to be there, and then all of a sudden she was there. And well, you were adamant she would be there. You were dead on. No, I didn't know. I didn't know if she would be. Cassidy was the one that thought she'd be there. We got a lot of big Swifties here that were happy to see that Taylor Swift was at a Nebraska game. Who would have thought? I don't know if we have that many Swifties. We don't? You're a Swiftie. Well, Cassidy's a Swiftie. Carly on our Playfly team's a Swiftie. I don't know if we're as big as Swiftie fans after the way that her fans reacted. Things occurred that we don't have to talk about, and it's quite unfortunate. But Taylor herself didn't have anything to do with that. It's just her fans had some issues. Her fans are cray. All right, that's going to do it here for hour number one. Coming up, hour number two, we're going to hear from Javin Wright, talk some Husker volleyball, weekend winners. Lots of good stuff ahead. And 402-413-2400. Kyle can't believe that we have not had a single phone call. It's usually somebody call me. I'm lonely. Big Red Reaction times two. Well, actually just Junior. Big Red Reaction Junior, but it hadn't been today. So give us a call. We're back with hour two next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
At Woodhouse, we're with you every step of the way. With more than 20 locations and brands, you'll find options that fit your lifestyle. Whether you're looking for your first car, your next SUV, or something built to tow and haul. Enjoy straightforward pricing, helpful guidance, and a dealer experience built around you. Visit one of our convenient locations today or explore your options online at woodhouse.com. Serving our customers for 50 years, this is Woodhouse.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did. Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See shelter agent Rhonda Miller in Alliance, Stephanie Culver in Holdridge, or Jonna Austin in Fairbury.
Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Last night, Nebraska soccer went on the road and defeated Omaha 2-1. The Big Red moved to 3-2 on the season as Ella Rudney scored in the 12th minute and Reese Borer scored in the 32nd minute. Nebraska will be back in action at home Thursday night against Oregon State. In other Husker news, Caden Mickelson opened his Nebraska golf career with a school freshman record 9 under across 54 holes. He tied for 12th individually and led the Huskers to a 6th place team finish over the weekend. And finally, one big college football game tonight as TCU takes on Bill Belichick and North Carolina here in just a few minutes. You can watch that on ESPN. Our sports ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit stonebridgeiwm.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
10 on the play clock. Raiola sends a man in motion right to left. That's Ja'Cory Barney. Raiola takes a snap, fade route, back right of the end zone. 50-50 ball! Was it caught? Touchdown, Huskers! Fade route, back right of the end zone. Going up high to make the catch, Isaiah Hunter for the Husker touchdown. Sorsby leans in, takes the snap, backpedals the throw. Blitz picked up. Ayers went out deep right sideline. 50-50 ball. It's picked off. The black shirts with the dagger. Malcolm Hartzog with a giant pick seals the night for the Big Red.
Served by Trinity Ward. Good pass, Harper, the side. Andy Jackson. Kaboom! She got it. We're going to the 5th. We're going to 5. Andy Jackson time. 25-23, the verdict set for.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly. We're awaiting this kickoff, but it's, as you mentioned, a full Monday night.
Yeah, they're getting the whole treatment.
It's like a big-time game here. It's taken forever to kick this thing off. So North Carolina and TCU. It's the last game on our pick segment.
You need this one.
I need the Horned Frogs because I did not have a very good week, but that's okay.
Do we have official records, by the way, that we can go through so
well,
far? Or we'd be guessing at this point?
I don't know because I couldn't. I mean, you didn't even remember who you picked. So.
I honestly didn't.
But, yeah, so.
None of us did great, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
Me and Searles, I think, were pretty locked up in some of the same picks. 6-3 was probably the best record.
But Kyle got the Husker question wrong, and Searles did. I think Searles won the week.
Did he?
And
That's unfortunate.
He's going to be insufferable.
The big dog's barking.
Oh, Josh might have won. Okay.
Josh is the silent assassin. Josh is the silent assassin. I think he's going to win.
Josh finished last year.
Did he? Oh,
Yeah. Josh had a rough year last year, so. Well, how about the weekend for Husker volleyball? Wow, what a match yesterday. But I also did want to read this, too. Troy Dannon put this out. But with Husker soccer out of the gates, they won 3 games, had 2 ties. Husker volleyball's 4-0, and Husker football 1-0. Nebraska entering September unbeaten.
Unbeaten. Don't know how to lose. How about it? Fall sports off to a great start. I don't see it ending anytime soon. Was it soccer who was at Omaha yesterday?
Big win for them yesterday on the road.
I know it was it raining yesterday? I honestly don't know. Was it raining yesterday? It was bad conditions, too. They played it yesterday, right?
Yep. So, and it's always, with a lot of the sports, Omaha, it's kind of a fun rivalry, and so it means a lot. And the thing about with Nebraska, almost half the team is from the state, and same thing with Omaha. So there's a lot of ties there, so it means a lot more when they battle it out. So
no, but it's cool.
Good win for them.
Soccer's off to a great start. Football, of course, but volleyball doing something they hadn't done in a couple of years. The old reverse sweep, as we like to call it.
Yeah, that was incredible. So after sweeping Lipscomb on Friday night, they come back and drop 2 sets. What were you thinking? Were you thinking, oh boy?
Yeah, just Now, it's a team that's never down and out, right?
Yeah.
You still have an opportunity. Okay, you take it 1 point at a time, 1 set at a time. You win that third set, and then all of a sudden you're thinking, okay, but I think Nebraska's got their footing a little bit. But I tweeted this out at the time after the final point of the match, is that teams with championship DNA find different ways to win games or matches, and that's what this was. You face some of your first adversity of the year, and Kentucky's a really, really good team.
That was high-level volleyball.
It was, and I think you saw DBK make some adjustments, especially at libero as well, and be willing to utilize some of that depth when certain things weren't going well with your starting lineup, the necessary changes, and she kind of pushed all the right buttons yesterday, and Harper Murray was a difference maker from that third set on. You saw some of those leaders really step up, and Nebraska, when they're at their peak, no matter what the lineup may be, they seem to overpower opponents. And in that fifth set, they just sort of kind of want it going away. It was incredible.
You know, the ESPN broadcasters were talking about how it's one of the hardest things to do in sports to reverse sweep. And it was, but you're right, the way that, and I brought this up too, just after that first weekend, and you saw the change, that right side. But I feel like they're so loaded with talent that if there comes a match where maybe you have players that match up better or differently than the opponent, or even in game, if something is not going right, you have the ability. And so, you know, kudos to having the team, you know, sit over there with the mindset of, let me be ready when my number's called, and not knowing when it's called, but being ready, and those players stepping in and being ready to roll. So now are we back to the libero controversy again, trying to figure out that? I heard they asked Jalen about it in the post game last night, and he said that it's probably still going to continue to be a battle. But I just think that could very well be what we see throughout the season, depending on if there needs to be a change in a given night at any position, not just libero.
Yeah, I think if Liv struggles, then you'll see Laney at libero. You saw Adriano as well come in and be a part of the lineup with some shuffling and shaking. I just think it's good to have the healthy battling within the roster, because aside from a few players, nobody's job is really safe. That's sort of how you want this thing to go, right? That keeps people on pins and needles and keeps that competition elite. Not everybody has the depth that you can keep the same level of play when you go deep into that depth, and that's what Nebraska is able to do, and that's why this is a generational team. You can count on different players in different matches. You can beat a top 7 team in the country after going 2-0. There's not many teams, if any, that can do that.
There's a lot of history there, obviously, with Kentucky, and just they've got some really, really good players. And another thing that they were mentioning on the broadcast is Kentucky is going to probably be, which how they have looked, probably going to be one of those teams that might be in the conversation there those last couple of weekends of this volleyball season. Just what we've already seen from them, but it's a good test. I know it's early, and it's hard not to think about down the line with this team because they are that good, but. Being that the Big Ten is such a battle, this was a good test for them to be able to have to kind of have their backs up against the wall and find a way to battle through it.
You just think of all the tests they have had over the first couple weeks. You play top 10 Pitt, top 10 Stanford, top 10 Kentucky, and you didn't have a whole lot of adversity in those first two, and then to have a different type of match. Things go a certain way where you need people to step up. How about Harper Murray? We mentioned her really turning the tide in that third set. She had 23 kills, 5 blocks, 15 digs, and an ace. Your middles and Alec and Jackson, they continue to do what they do well, and that's really be that force of the net. They had 12 total blocks between the two, 20 kills. So Jalen Reyes had this quote. I was looking this up earlier. He said their ball handling wasn't all that good in the first 2 sets. Kentucky seemed to be the aggressor in those first 2 sets, and there was a shift in ideology. And I think Harper Murray said this post-match. We didn't play Nebraska volleyball. It's a cliche or whatever, but it was true. They didn't play up to their standard in the first 2 sets.
Yeah, but that being said, there were still some moments where you're like, this team is really good. Even though they weren't playing up to par, it just it's a fun group. So we're going to have the Nebraska Volleyball Show. Danny Busby Kelly will be here live in studio tomorrow night with John Baylor. And then I'm also sitting down with Jalen Reyes for the Dig tomorrow. So if you have any questions for John Baylor, for Jalen Reyes, let us know, 402-413-2400. Give us a call, text, whatever that might be. But it's going to be a fun show between JB and Danny tomorrow. Lots to dive into there.
Yeah, a lot to get into. And Penn State lost.
Yes,
right?
they did. They lost today again.
Is that
again,
their second
to TCU.
loss?
Come on, TCU.
Let's go 2-0
today.
North Carolina, my pick's looking good here, Jess. North Carolina, we have this giant TV right in front of us. That's why we're looking up all the time. They went right down the field on TCU, take a 7-0 lead. Michael Jordan is actually in the house.
Wow.
NJ is there. You have Roy Williams as well. So
Come on, we need a response, TCU.
It doesn't look good for you. It looks like
it's a first drive. Come on.
It's tough.
North Carolina, well, I guess, yeah, they're known for not playing very good defense. We'll see if it changes.
They're not really known for football. So that's why all this coverage of North Carolina football on ESPN seems just different. But when you get a rock star in Bill Belichick, and we know his offseason's been very odd. His last couple of years have been very odd.
This is the first time that, other than a bye week, that I've really been able to watch a bunch of football and a bunch of teams. So I was able to take in a lot of different teams. Was there anything that surprised you the most over this weekend? We saw a lot of good matchups.
Florida State,
yeah.
I had no idea that they were going to be as good as they were. Credit to Thomas Castellanos. He talked a lot of junk on Alabama in the offseason, but he lived up to it. I think defensively, Florida State is much better than I thought. In the trenches, they're much better. I think Alabama has a lot of things to be concerned about. They're starting to turn pretty quickly on Kalen DeBoer over there. That was a 13.5-point spread going into the game. And for Florida State really to dominate that game was really, really shocking from a team that was 2-10 a year ago. Now, Florida State, you go to a year ago to around when Florida State had won that game, it was the Seminoles who started preseason top 10 and lost to Georgia Tech in Ireland, and just things tanked for that program, and they had not been the same since. But for them to bounce back, they, of course, had coordinator change, and we know, the DC here in Nebraska for a couple of years as well now is at Florida State. You got some Nebraska guys there, but it's a different team.
I went into it thinking I might pick Florida State in our picks, and I picked last, and you guys.
You were going to pick Florida State?
I actually thought about it because, I'll tell you why. Because Tony White's defense, I mean, I think
they're good, man.
He does some crazy things, and it's hard to prepare for, and yeah, they could watch what Nebraska did on film, but this exact same thing happened when Tony White got here, and people, the teams that were playing Nebraska early on were saying, well, I guess we're watching Syracuse film. So I just kind of had a feeling they might come out with their hair on fire, at least defensively, just knowing what we've seen. I mean, Tony White's a good coach. Matt Rhule has said that. Terrence Knighton is a great coach. So they've got some guys there that we've seen proven here at Nebraska that I kind of had a feeling they might play well defensively.
You know what's also interesting too, Jess? They have Gus Malzahn is their offensive coordinator. I mean, he was successful head coach at Auburn, pretty successful at times at UCF. That's a big name to be running your offense. And then Tony White, with the success that he's had here, running a top 20 defense. I know we like to have revisionist history sometimes on that with him no longer being here. He's very good here at Nebraska. You have two really, really good coordinators there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and get to a break. Coming up next, we're going to hear from Javin Wright. Had a chance to sit down with him for this week's Cornhusker Conversation, so we're going to bring you up a little bit of that conversation coming up next. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
No matter what you're looking for, you'll find it at Woodhouse. We carry a wide selection of trusted brands across more than 20 locations, offering everything from efficient daily drivers to bold new EVs and family-ready SUVs. At Woodhouse, we put your experience first, offering expert guidance and a trusted team that's guaranteed to help you find the right vehicle. Visit a location near you or start shopping online at woodhouse.com. More ways to drive, more reasons to trust. This is Woodhouse.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
At Woodhouse, we're with you every step of the way. With more than 20 locations and brands, you'll find options that fit your lifestyle. Whether you're looking for your first car, your next SUV, or something built to tow and haul. Enjoy straightforward pricing, helpful guidance, and a dealer experience built around you. Visit one of our convenient locations today or explore your options online at woodhouse.com. Serving our customers for 50 years, this is Woodhouse.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See shelter agent Dory Milberger or Darren Frazier in Omaha or agent Terry Dingwell in Fremont.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
It's the Ford Labor Day Sell-a-thon. Right now, get 0% financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles. Don't miss out. Head to your Midwest Ford dealers during the Labor Day Sell-a-thon. Get 0% financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles, plus get a complimentary 2-year maintenance plan. Hurry in. These value-driven offers end September 2nd. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers. Driven by value.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly on this Victory Monday with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. And how about this? Your very first ever phone call on Sports Nightly. We actually got a phone call during the commercial break.
And it's not my mom, right?
It's not Brenda.
Okay.
It is Bruce. From Oregon, actually, calling. Camden, do you punch it or me? I actually don't even know because I've not worked these phones.
We're gonna find out.
All right, Bruce.
Hello.
Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, thank you. Hello. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Kyle, I just wanted to say you did a good job. Really great job. It's great to listen to you. I enjoyed it. You know, I'm sure a bunch of other people did too.
Thanks, Bruce. Appreciate it.
But the main reason... the main reason I called was people were complaining about the defense, about the run and stuff. Like after the game, I was watching different things, but anyways, a guy called in on one of the shows and literally was like saying how pathetic that we were, but like it's about winning the game. Like it's the first game, so we can win. Like we can fix that stuff. I mean, we have to fix, and I'm sure the coaches will. I mean, we got good coaches. But they only gave up 17 points. Cincinnati's the one that gave up the 20. So we had some plays, but I really felt that, that both sides did a pretty good job. There's some things that need to be fixed, but I just don't understand. Cincinnati's a good team. and we were on the road just like they were, so it was a road game.
Roadish.
So,
yeah. No, but I agree. It's week one. Tackling is going to be iffy. Fundamentals are going to be iffy, but you held a really good team with a really good quarterback that might be playing on Sundays one day to 17 points, like 80 yards of total offense in the first half, back-to-back 3-and-outs at a crucial time. You had a really big takeaway right before half. They gave you a 10-point lead. You thought you could put your foot on the throat because, remember, you got the ball coming out of halftime. You had the defense was able to make some big plays. You had that touchdown to Hunter, and you got the ball back to start or to begin the second half. You couldn't really make anything of that, which was a little bit disappointing. But defensively, I think there were a lot of good things, but there's some things that you have to clean up, and I think that comes with the front seven, creating more pressure in terms of tackles for loss, sacks, things along that line. But the secondary is sort of what we thought it could be, and that is a veteran bunch that is just really good collectively.
I'll say this too, Bruce. I think some of it is maybe some of the mistakes you saw for the defense was maybe some young guy mistakes, some guys that just from what I could gather on the sideline and Damon and I know Damon said it on the broadcast. I know that DB and I were texting about it. Not a scheme or personnel problem, more so maybe a learning curve for some of these younger players, kind of figuring out how to be in the line of the fire. I'll say this. I personally was probably not disappointed, but I was more pleased with the defense than the offense. I maybe expected more out of the offense on Saturday. I thought that I was pretty impressed with the defense, especially the way they settled in.
Yeah, but they can go back and watch on film. Okay, that's the whole purpose. All right, like these are kids. Like we got to remember these are kids. These and this even happens in the pros. A lot of times, like teams are gonna make mistakes. We're not perfect, but I felt that the defense did a good job. I know people are out there said they didn't, but listen. I love Nebraska, win or lose. I don't care. Been a fan too long to really care about criticism from people because we know that's going to happen. But I appreciate you guys letting me call in.
Yeah,
thanks for calling, Bruce.
Yeah, you got to prove it. And one-score games have not been easy to win around here. We know that, and Nebraska's been on the wrong end of them. And the way to silence doubters is win games, and especially when it comes Big Ten time and you get in those close games late in the fourth quarter. And how do you limit mistakes? How do you make big, crucial plays? And Nebraska made enough game-changing plays. They limited mistakes in terms of certain tasks and things. Like you go back and watch the film, they made mistakes, fundamental mistakes, but they didn't make that big game-changing mistake, which is we've seen a lot of those in Nebraska past.
And as Coach Rhule has said multiple times today, and a lot of times the biggest growth and jumps that you see is from game 1 to game 2. And so I just think with some of these young defensive players, again, the teaching that I was seeing on the sideline, the conversations, I think they'll learn from it. They've got some young talent. It's just it was their first time in the fire against, as you mentioned, a really good quarterback. So they were playing lights out there at the end of the first half. I mean, you saw some flashes of how good they could be. And then Rhule even said this, credit to Cincinnati for making some adjustments for what they were doing in the second half.
Yeah, they did make a lot of adjustments. Sorsby made a lot of adjustments on his own as well. But they limited anything in the passing game for that. Like they got a pretty good wide receiving core.
And tight end,
who's we talked about is going to be probably a first-round NFL draft pick. Cyrus Allen's legit. Coach Rhule said that today. He was playing at Texas A&M last year. He had a 100-yard game a couple of years ago at La Tech when he came here to Memorial Stadium as a member of that team. And they had a pretty good, deep wide receiving core that they brought in with a lot of speed and playmaking ability. And this secondary silenced that. Well, they have under 70 yards passing or whatever it was for the game.
Yeah, for sure. Do you agree a little bit, maybe less? I don't want to say disappointed. What's a better word than that? I mean, if people are saying they're disappointed in the defense, I would say I was more impressed with the defense. I thought maybe I expected a little bit more. When Coach Rhule was asked about what he expected, I think I expected maybe a little bit more out of the offense personally.
Yeah, I think offensively there's more there. I think the big thing with the offense is you didn't make that bone-crushing mistake, right? So, Dylan got sacked there and got strip sacked, was able to recover that fumble. That could have been a big-time turnover at that point, but Dylan didn't force anything. I think the defense on one end, you give up 17 points in a game. That's a really good effort nowadays in football. Offensively, you're going to have to score more than 20. We know that. Dylan Raiola is going to have to make bigger plays. You're going to have bigger splash plays in the run game. Ja'Cory Barney is going to have to play a bigger role in terms of explosive plays. He was close to breaking one, if you remember. I think it was around the left side, just got hit on the hip and looked like he was getting set to take one to the house. Isaiah Mosey had that jet sweep that lost 2 yards. If he gets one block, turns the edge, he's gone. There were big plays out there that if you hold the block one more second, and Damon had talked about it on the broadcast, that there could have been a lot more explosive
They
plays.
were right there. And so that's going back to your point about you hold a team to 17 points. More likely than not, this offense is going to score more than 17 points.
If you hold
and I think this offense is going to score more than 20 points a game. I think they're going to average more than that. So what does that do if you're scoring more than 20 and holding them less to 17 or less?
Yeah,
you're winning games.
Just win, especially early in the year when you don't necessarily know what you are as a team yet. You have not formed that identity. If you're able to leave games without necessarily knowing maybe what this offensive identity is specifically and come out with a win, you take it.
All right, so mentioned earlier that we're going to hear from Javin Wright. Had a chance to sit down with him for last week's Cornhusker conversation. So wanted to bring you a portion of that conversation here tonight. What an incredible story, and you know, Coach Rhule thinks a lot of him. So a single-digit guy wearing number 0, and I had a chance to chat with him about a number of different things, but here's a portion of that conversation. I don't know if a lot of people realize just what you went through last year, and just you didn't really get to practice much, but you showed up and you balled out on Saturdays. What was that like, just getting yourself ready when you were limited on what you could do throughout the week?
Right. I had a whole different schedule than everyone else. I couldn't hit during practice, so I would stay like 30 yards back and just mirroring everything, trying to mimic what I was going to see in the game. There's only so much you can do from back there, but I did the best I could. So with my experience as like playing the year before and the years before, it helped me on Saturdays, and I'm very thankful that Coach allowed me to do that.
Coach Rhule has told a lot, has gone back to that day, that conversation in his office when he realized that, hey, you're going to be limited, hoping for USC. I think your dad was in there, but that conversation just being so emotional for him and a really monumental kind of moment for him. What do you remember about that, and how emotional were you in that moment?
Oh, I remember I knew the news was going to hit. I knew what was going to happen. I just didn't want to hear it at the time. So when I heard it, I just started crying. I remember just crying. I remember covering my face and crying. And then I told myself that you're going to be okay. You've been through this before, all in a split of a second. So I just stopped crying after like 10 minutes. So like I stopped crying, and I knew what the next steps were. I let my emotions take a hold of me for like 10 minutes, and then I got back on my bearings. And then I noticed everyone else was kind of teary-eyed and crying around me. So I was like, okay, I guess it's safe to say that everyone cares around here, and I know I'm going to get back and be back to where I was.
So, and this has, again, been a process, and you've had multiple conversations with people. I know you probably multiple times have said maybe you shouldn't play football, right? What has kept you battling through that one? Probably a lot of people are saying maybe you should think about hanging this up.
Right. No knock on people that do say that. I know where they're coming from, a place of care, but I think dreams should be bigger than any complications that come your way. So anything that tries to stop me on the way through this journey is going to get ran through, or it's going to be moved around. So it's gonna be hard for me to get knocked off the path that I want to get to.
Were there times though that you thought, why am I doing this?
I think, like I said, I'm not like a superhuman where I'm like always positive. I've been through literally every emotion that goes with football and life at a young age. So I mean, yeah, that's passed over me a couple times, but I know that leaning back onto why I do this, what I want to become, who I want to be in this lifetime, and on the football field, it overpowers that whole sensation completely.
I was going to say, what do you love so much about this game, being a part of this team that kept driving you to get back?
Yeah, the people on this team are amazing. Like, being around them, sometimes I just sit there and like be silent just so I can observe how great the people are on this team and how they interact with each other. It's truly outstanding. And I think as a seventh year, it's like, because I've seen cultures being built and destroyed and different relationships being formed, and it's easier to see when you've been around for a long time. So it's fun to watch all these people around me on the team just come and love on everyone else on the team. So it was easy for me to fight for them to try to come back. And then this football, it means like everything. I mean, since I was 5 years old, when my dad was doing little drills in the living room, when I was running around the ottoman 200 times as a little kid, I just always loved it. And then it's a lot more than a game to me.
So then circling back to being voted as one of those guys, it means a lot to, I know, everybody, but it has to mean even extra to you.
It means actually everything to me. It's one of the milestones that I wanted since I've been here. I've been wanting a single digit, and not having it is fine. 33 it's a staple in my life, but 0 is another big staple in my life. So just being handled as single digit, it's cool, but being voted as single digit is a whole different story.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
The move to linebacker, when you got here and early on, you were pretty settled into being a defensive back. That was
right.
That was your role. Coach Rhule has talked about the story that with your dad and, hey, we think you might be a fit at linebacker. How did you come to terms in accepting, like, maybe this is my position?
Yeah. So at first I was not for it because I knew I could have stayed in the DB room. I think they know that too. But my best chance, they thought, was to go to linebacker. And at first I was not for it. I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. My dad had to sit me down and then tell me, yeah, you're going to have to fight your ego and switch over to positions. They still love you. They know you're capable of doing anything, but they want you a linebacker. They think it's the best fit for you and your future and the team. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to sit down with myself and be like, okay, I'm going to switch to linebacker.
So going into this year, everything, again, the position change, the health battles, everything, your game-wise, how do you feel going into this season?
Right. I feel at my peak right now. I mean, I obviously have a lot to grow. I mean, every player has a lot to grow, but I've worked on things that I wasn't able to work on last year due to some adversity, as you know. But being more appreciative of practice and being more deliberate in practice, it helped me become a better player. So stepping on the field, I am way more confident than I ever was.
What are some of the things that you've learned about yourself, about life throughout these last 7 years?
That's a lot. I have a lot of themes, a lot of to take from. My story is just full of perseverance, and I would say having a belief system in whatever you believe in, and a belief system in yourself to be able to keep hitting rock bottom or whatever the bottom you hit, and to be able to pick yourself up and climb back up that mountain several times, and knowing that you will get back to the place that you were, and any obstacle that comes your way, you're going to defeat it, is one of the biggest themes in my story that you can take from.
I told this to Coach Rhule earlier. I said, I know I'm not supposed to have favorites, but Javin Wright is one of my favorites and has been one of my favorites. I mean, he's been in here the whole time I've been here.
Yeah, it's hard not to like a guy like that.
Yeah.
That's been knocked down and keeps getting back up every single time, that's been brought to tears with something a doctor has told him, and they said playing football probably isn't the best thing for you, but here he is wearing a single digit in his 7th year of college football, and he's going to be a huge part of this defense. Was a huge part on Thursday night. I think he's right at 100 career tackles now for him, so I'm happy for him. Incredible.
You can listen to that full conversation. It's out now on our podcast platforms, our YouTube channel as well, and each week we are thankful to our friends at Woodhouse for presenting this Cornhusker conversation. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Looky here, we've got a tie ball game. TCU, North Carolina not running away with it yet, Kyle.
Not yet. I think you're saying I got ahead of myself with 11 minutes left in the first quarter, saying it was over?
I think so, a little bit, yeah.
It's just weird seeing Belichick on a college sideline. He's got the same patented sweatshirt that's cut off near the elbows, but it's got the Carolina blue on it, and just really, really weird to see that.
Strange. All right, we got to get to a break. We're back with more of the show coming up after this.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
See Shelter Agent Sharon Lear in Papillion, Paul Hoos in Grand Island, or an Ord Sea Agent Matt Woodward.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Jan from Toyota here with live coverage of end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event with my special guest, Eli Manning.
Thanks, Jan. Let's get into it.
Down by the lake for some fishing, we've got Eric in his Tundra. He throws his line, and he's going long!
Heck of a team effort there. That Tundra got him exactly where he needed to be.
There's excitement in the stadium parking lot with the Davis family tailgating in their new Sequoia.
All eyes are on Dad manning the grill. He grabs some buns from the cargo area of the Sequoia and flips. And look at that! What a way to close this one out.
Sure was, Eli. Until next time, go Toyota!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 2nd. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, or Corwin Toyota of Bellevue.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Exarban Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Did you get us switched over to Shelter Insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did. Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See Shelter Agent Jeff Brandt in Hastings, Kelly Schilke in Imperial, or Rick Missioner in Beatrice.
It's the Ford Labor Day Sell-a-thon. Right now, get 0% financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles. Don't miss out. Head to your Midwest Ford dealers during the Labor Day Sell-a-thon. Get 0% financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles, plus get a complimentary 2-year maintenance plan. Hurry in. These value-driven offers end September 2nd. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers. Driven by value.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly on this Monday evening. Got a couple segments left here tonight. Kyle, did you see that the Oregon Duck lost his head?
I did. That was tough.
He's one of my favorite mascots. They do a great job with that. He travels all over. You know, he's kind of a nuisance.
But it was on TV at the time. I guess they were airing them running out and lost the duck head, and then he had to quite literally waddle in the duck costume back to the tunnel so people didn't see his face. That was really tough.
Oh, yikes. Yeah. Because you're not supposed to know who's underneath the mask.
No. That's a big no-no. So
big no-no.
I would assume that there's a change at who the mascot is. That's
Or-
you can't come back from that.
Well, unless, I mean, maybe it was a malfunction with the head and not him. Maybe it wasn't his fault.
Yeah. Well, didn't he fall?
Oh, I don't know.
So you're probably not supposed to trip
Fall?
and fall to begin with. I don't know how else the head would have come off. But it was not a good scene because you're right, that is one of the more iconic mascots in college football. And to see the person underneath it.
It's like, I wonder if there were any kids traumatized just because they didn't know that, there's a person underneath.
I've gone on road trips where you travel with the mascot, like the person who's Alberta the Gator, and I'm like, I don't even want to sit next to this person because you're not real. You're not a real person. There's not supposed to be anybody. You are just supposed to be an alligator.
Have you made a decision yet on if you're a Team Husker, Team Herbie, or Team Little Red?
I'm Herbie. Because I just want a lot of Herbie gear.
Yeah.
I'm a big retro. We have like we said, we have a big Herbie neon sign that's in the other room. If you look around too, we have, they've really decked out this. I guess the media are going to come through tomorrow.
Yep.
Floor 2. But the walls are now decorated more. There's pictures. There's just
paint.
a lot of, there's paint. Our home booth, also the Greg Sharp radio booth, has been updated a little bit with some paint as well. So you walk around this second floor, it's really nice now.
Yeah, going to have an open house tomorrow, so you might be seeing some, I don't know, maybe not, but maybe it's just they can check it out. Maybe they'll post, I don't know. But so we have to have this place picked up. Your office still looks like you just moved in.
We threw out the extra cardboard.
Oh, you did?
that
Okay, I was going to tell you to
fridge.
do that. Yeah.
There's some stuff that's decorated. I've been asking, and maybe I can ask on the air. But we have this Nebraska football helmet behind me. I want to take it for the office, but I have a feeling Jessica wants to keep it in here.
You can't even see it on the air. So, and people might want to use that table. I don't see why not.
It's mine now.
I don't know. I also not in charge, so I got in trouble.
Let's get it clear. You are in charge, whether you don't believe that you're in charge or not. You are in charge.
I got in trouble for a couple other things that I made decisions on, so I'm like, whatever you want to do. The other overall college football news is Lee Corso had his last show on College Game Day. I know Coach Rhule had talked about that in the past, and it's been tough over the last couple of years just because he's such an iconic part of the sport, and it was getting tougher and tougher, but they did such a great job paying tribute to him. Not just the ESPN folks, but even Fox took it live. They got to do it, I think, in Stadium Live. You could hear it happen, and so really neat. I was locked in. Basically, that whole broadcast is, again, how many of us can think about watching college football all these years, and one of the first people, if you think about being part of that coverage, is Lee Corso.
Then I've always said it, especially when I've talked about Greg. Great announcers bring nostalgia too, because they're there every day. Lee was there every Saturday morning. It still is a part of every college football fans. Even if you're not a diehard college football fan, it's tradition to have that show on at 9 a.m. or 8. 8 a.m. Central Time here, and to have that to be the start of every single college football Saturday, and to have the traditional headgear pick. You can't do that anymore. That's got to get retired with Lee. And what's interesting is I think the first.
You think?
I don't think you can do that anymore. You can't have somebody new in there doing a headgear pick.
Yeah.
That's got to.
But do you think you might have a different kind of spin on the pick?
Yeah, I think they'll do something different. But that whole idea has got to sort of leave when Lee does, right?
Yeah, but that's the only, so many people just tuned in for that. So you've got to do something to. I know maybe not exactly that, but you've got to do something that iconic.
I think that's where Pat McAfee comes in.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one year he jumped into a river.
I was there. It was Baylor was playing Oklahoma, and he jumped into the Brazos River.
So I think
he walked past us dripping wet after it happened. It was hilarious.
But he did a great thing a couple of years ago, SEC Championship, Bama and Georgia. He did the whole Georgia fight song, and then he said, "Give me Alabama." Like, he just has the flair for the dramatic, where I feel like he now steps into that role where he's the last one to pick.
I was fortunate to see Lee Corso make a couple picks live, and Oklahoma, they have the Roughnecks where they shoot the guns. And so it's
in
always
Oklahoma, yeah.
pretty iconic. I mean, he did it next to Baker Mayfield and
I remember he scared Herb Street one year. He did it right in his ear.
Yeah. So I think it was the first time he started doing that kind of stuff, but it was, it's just part of it. It's going to be, I think, weird because even when you knew it was maybe coming to an end, you still knew that was coming. And it's going to be so different now, not having that part of your college game day.
Yeah, I think that was his first ever headgear pick, was it? Ohio State. Brutus is the mascot, putting on that mascot head. And the last one that he ever makes is Ohio State as well. But what a game to go to and to celebrate Lee Corso. But, 1-2, Ohio State, Texas. And that was a cool way to sort of end the era. And like you said, Fox took it live. It was live over the public address inside the stadium there. So all that was a really cool way. You can't think of a better way to sort of end that tenure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, going to get to a break. Final segment coming up, our weekend winners. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
It's the Ford Labor Day Sell-a-thon. Right now, get 0% financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles. Don't miss out. Head to your Midwest Ford dealers during the Labor Day Sell-a-thon. Get 0% financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles, plus get a complimentary 2-year maintenance plan. Hurry in. These value-driven offers end September 2nd. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers. Driven by value.
Welcome back. Final segment here of Sports Nightly on this Monday evening. We like to save this segment for our weekend winners. And last week we had Brady on, one of our new interns. We're getting a new batch because we told you back in the spring a lot of our interns graduated. They're moving on. So we've got a new group that we're really excited about. So we introduced you to Brady. Now we have Chris. Chris, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
We chatted with you back in the spring. So what made you want to work for the Huskers Radio Network?
I mean, like I told you in the interview, who wouldn't, right?
That's right. That's what I said, too.
Yeah, I know. You guys had similar answers to that.
Yeah,
so.
Might have been the same thing.
Yeah. So, well, welcome. We're glad to have you. And you're going to be participating here tonight in Weekend Winners. We'll let you have the honor of going first.
Yeah, I want to shout out Tulane, getting that big win over Northwestern, showing that they're probably one of the best in the American. I think that they're going to have a big year.
All right. And I picked Tulane. I think we all picked Tulane. Did we all pick Tulane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Northwestern, it's going to be a tough year.
You think?
I think so. Is it my turn, by the way?
Yeah, you can go next.
I'm sticking in the same theme of the American. I'm going to go with South Florida.
Okay.
They beat up Boise State. It was a top 25 team. They won 34-7. Alex Golish has got that program running. They're going to be pretty legit. I think eventually there'll be a Power 4 program when they make that transition, but there'll be a bowl team for sure. But they're a pretty good group. 34-7 over Boise State.
Camden, what do you got for us?
All right, I'm going to go away from college football because I had to go in depth. I was going to do Lee Corso, but, we just talked about that, so I found a different one. I'm going to go with Venus Williams at the U.S. Open. She's playing doubles right now, and she won again today to advance to the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open. Prior to this year's first round win, she hadn't won a Grand Slam doubles match since 2018's French Open, and then by advancing to the quarterfinals, she secured her best finish at a Grand Slam's doubles tournament since winning Wimbledon with Serena Williams back in 2016.
Wow, that's a good one. I like it. Greg would have liked that one too. He always liked throwing the tennis in there. So I have two. I know I'm cheating. Husker Nation, wow, you were unbelievable on Thursday night. It was so loud, and Coach Rhule mentioned this, but there was multiple false starts because of the crowd down there, and even to the point where when the offense was on the field, had to be like, hey, quiet down a little bit. But It was absolutely electric. The players just raved about it. It was just a fun first game, and as Emmett told me in his postgame, he'll remember that forever. So Husker Nation, you were unbelievable, so shout out you guys. But Kyle, you, my friend, calling your first game here on the Huskers Radio Network. You're my weekend winner.
I'm a winner? Wow, it's the first time I've ever been called a winner. Well, thank you very much.
I thought, there was a couple times before when we were telling you about all the sponsor reads, I was a little worried you might be a little overwhelmed, but you handled it like the pro we knew you were going to be.
I'll tell you what, you guys are the best. Ben, Damon, yourself, Brandon Meyer, who was in the booth, Josh Hilkeman, Russ Brown, Camden Cohn. There's so much that went into making it seem like it was sort of under control on the air. So you guys are A++ in my book.
It was fun. You got to call a game winner. I mean, who would have thought?
Yeah. Game-winning interception.
Yeah.
There were moments where I think it was right before the Huskers were running out, and you were in my ear too, letting me know that it was Coach Rhule who was leading them out, because I didn't see that originally. But to see that video then come out on social media, there was a pinch me moment where the fireworks are shooting off, and there's 99% of the stadium is Husker fans, but they're running out, and you see the Nebraska flags leading them onto the field, where you're just like, wow, it's real.
So I'm standing there. Well, first of all, I told you the story, but the Cincinnati band plays, and the drum major leaves his hat and stick thing, whatever they'd use to lead the band, out there on Nebraska's sideline. It's just right there on the 50-yard line, and Coach Eckler picks it up and was going to take it over there. He's like, I'll take it. But so then Coach Eckler was like, Coach Rhule's about to lead the team out. And we've known that he doesn't do that normally. Usually it's Corey Campbell that leads them out, especially here at home with the tunnel walk. And so he said, no, he just told him. He said, he's lost some weight. He's going to do it. He's going to run out there. And we saw the video. He said, don't run me over. And so he had told me that. And then he said, don't say anything yet. And so then as soon as I saw him coming out and I saw Coach Rhule, I was like, hey, Coach Rhule's leading the team out. But his smile on his face was the best thing ever. I mean, I've said it so many times that you can tell how much he really loves his team, but it was hilarious.
Him and Corey were running next to each other, shoulder to shoulder. He was looking behind him, making sure the guys weren't about to run him over. But he said it's not something that's going to continue.
No.
But for that one time, he did it.
I was impressed with his speed. I told him that too. I'm like, you had some wheels on you there. He's like, I was trying not to get ran over, but
track speed.
Fun times. Okay, so coming up tomorrow night, we've got a full 2 hours here on the network. So we got volleyball hour coming up from 6 to 7. John Baylor, Danny Busman Kelly will be here live in studio. We've got another football availability, coordinators, players. We'll hear from them coming up tomorrow night as well. I'm scheduled to chat with the big dog with the episode of The Slice. He's going to break down the win. We've got the dig. Get a busy day coming up tomorrow. We've got all of that. And then Wednesday night, we have our football show. It will be to kill shorts in here with Kyle. So big week here, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
No matter what you're looking for, you'll find it at Woodhouse. We carry a wide selection of trusted brands across more than 20 locations, offering everything from efficient daily drivers to bold new EVs and family-ready SUVs. At Woodhouse, we put your experience first, offering expert guidance and a trusted team that's guaranteed to help you find the right vehicle. Visit a location near you or start shopping online at woodhouse.com. More ways to drive, more reasons to trust. This is Woodhouse.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
It's the Ford Labor Day Sell-a-thon. Right now, get 0% financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles. Don't miss out. Head to your Midwest Ford dealers during the Labor Day Sell-a-thon. Get 0% financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles, plus get a complimentary 2-year maintenance plan. Hurry in. These value-driven offers end September 2nd. Only at your Midwest